Here we go. Episode 1, Take 1. Welcome to the Fuzz, where we envision the ideas we'll all be buzzing about in the future. It's the Fuzz!
The Fuzz.
Fuzz.
In the future.
What will the dogs look like?
In the future.
Will podcasts still exist?
In the future.
Will computers take over?
In the future.
What will music sound like?
In the future.
People still wear shoes.
In the future.
What will advertising be like?
In the future.
Will we have computer chips in our brains?
In the future.
Will everyone in the world speak the same language?
In the future.
Will we be ultimately free to float about the universe?
In the future.
The Fuzz starts now.
While the things we talk about on this podcast might seem impossible or even slightly insane, so did smartphones, cold brew, and 2-day delivery at some point, right? Keep that in mind.
On today's episode, we're talking about headphones. Those things. You wear them on your head. You wear them in your ears all the time. They're what we get our audio signals from. How we get them into our faces, into our ears, right? How we hear things.
Are you getting it into your face? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you're putting the
probably
headphones
not.
in the wrong place.
You know, how you get music into your eyes. It's how you hear with your mouth. I would say headphones have come a long way. Especially, this is one of those things in the last 10 years. They've probably changed a lot. We've lost the wires. That's a big deal.
Yeah, we have lost the wires to some degree, right? We're still connected right now, right? Podcasting, we still use a wire because it's the most efficient way of getting the sound to our ears still, without any lag, as it were.
Yeah, and if you want the best sound, you still have a wire and you still have a bulkier headphone. If you just want sound, you can get it to your ears in a very small system with no wires, which is a breakthrough. That's a big deal. You could never have that before. So the fact that you could actually cut that wire off, that I would say was a big jump.
Well, and I think the future of headphones is an interesting topic to cover on the Fuzz because we've seen such a huge shift in headphones over the last 5 to 10 years, I'd say, is probably the biggest shift away from wires, like true wireless, where they're these little tiny little itty bitty things you stick in your ears, right? To listen to your music, take phone calls, whatever it is.
Yeah. So the question is, and the question we're kind of asking today, the question we're exploring, because that's really what we do here, right? Is we just kind of explore things, throw it around a little bit, toss the ball back and forth, see what we can kind of come up with is, what's the future of headphones look like? Where are we actually going? 20 years, 50 years, who knows? What are headphones going to look like? What are you thinking, Patrick? What are you envisioning? Do you have any ideas?
So let me just start by saying this. I think my vision of headphones may not be possible, but I'm thinking we'll get to the point where people will be able to choose to get implants directly tied into our brain and its auditory senses, right? Just that part of our brain for hearing. Here's my thought. Number one, no more worrying about if you can hear the environment around you. They have noise canceling, which is fine. I know there's people who just prefer that. But there'd be nothing plugging your ear canals. So this would be ideal for the people who wouldn't want noise cancellation. So I personally don't like that function of headphones. I like to hear my outside surroundings. If I don't hear it, it makes me nervous. Does it make you nervous?
I usually like a little bit. If I'm outside running, I can't have a noise canceling on.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I need to have some of that ambient sound. I don't want to be totally cut off from the outside world. So it kind of depends on my environment. If I'm on an airplane or something, maybe something different. But I usually want at least a little bit. Kind of depends on situation, I guess.
Yeah. See, I even when I'm in my own home alone, it still makes me nervous. I feel
you don't want somebody to sneak up behind you
and murder me.
Grab me by the shoulder and
trying
Michael
to
Myers.
murder me in my sleep. What? No, ma'am, we would never.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, it just makes me nervous. Well, and also I'm a parent, so I feel like it's this fear. You always want to know, do they need something? Are they hurt? You need to know what's going on around you. So anyway, noise cancellation might not be great for that, but this concept of sort of implant type of thing, you could go through life listening to music that you'd enjoy. Nobody would actually be aware of it at all. Kind of like an extension of what we're seeing, these little buds getting smaller and smaller and smaller, but this would just be tied to you, so you never have to worry about, do I need to put that thing in my ear? And this is just going a little further. I was thinking, what if you wanted to share your music that you're listening to with someone else? Almost like when you're sharing an earbud, that you could just simply ask that person to share your soundtrack, and they could give like verbal permission.
So it's not like, you just kind of like exchange a long glance at somebody and all of a sudden they're hearing what you're hearing.
You're just like, and they're like, turn it down, turn it down, I hate this song. Yeah.
I like this idea. I think that's one of these places to go is obviously the implant.
Yeah.
What's the battery life on this guy?
It uses your human
electrical impulse of like your brain?
Yeah. Uses it to power it. It's kind of like the robots in the Matrix.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. It seems like a logical next step. I mean, it's a big step.
It's huge. Yeah.
So you're just controlling it all with the mind, right?
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. I think that's the future that a lot of us see is like the computer, your video, your audio, it's all kind of inside, right? Mm-hmm. It's all personal. Your phone, everything that's on there is eventually going into your brain, right? Instead of having it in front of you where you're like interacting with it, you're just controlling it internally. I think we can all see that as kind of a, sci-fi future. I don't know how far down the line it is, but
yeah, 2 years, maybe 36 months.
Probably, yeah, at least a year and a half. We don't know what they're doing underground right now. I went a different way, and I probably went, I'm probably not as far ahead. I'm probably like 6 months instead of a year.
Okay.
I had a couple ideas, and one of them was, my thought was, we've lost the wires. Probably what's really going to happen is the next thing they really need to do is like create a super audio, really small headphone, right? Mm-hmm. Like something like smaller than the AirPods that has amazing audio, because we haven't done that yet. I guess that would be a next step. Not super exciting, to talk about. So I'm going to just skip that part because we're not interested in that. We're interested in the future buzz, right? We'll be buzzing about that. That'll be cool. That'll be expensive. That'll be great. Is it really going to have us buzzing? I don't know. So I was thinking, okay, we'll go a tick ahead of that. So, they've created these super audio headphones. What's next? Tick ahead of that, but not quite to where you went. So I was thinking, okay, we have something like a chip that's like a small sticker. Maybe it just sticks behind your ear or something, and it sends a signal like into the inner ear and just kind of plays the music in there, right? So then you don't have anything on your ear or in your ear. You just have kind of something small and non-invasive that's just kind of around there, and it's sending, a very small signal within there, but you're still getting that audio, and it's almost like it's playing just for you, but it sounds like it could be in the room or something like that. The other version I have of that, where the device is sending a signal where it's almost like a bubble, where the sound is just created around your head, right? Somehow you have like kind of a bubble of sound just around your head. You're in a room and the sound is playing, but nobody else is hearing it but you. Transmitted to your head bubble.
I like that a lot. It's actually leaning towards what I was talking, like almost
It is. It's like generation one of that, before we actually get in there.
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of, I don't know if you've seen those. The brand is called Aftershocks. Have you ever seen those where they're like bone conduction?
Yes, they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
I want to say like 10 years or something. I've used them before. They kind of feel a little weird, but they actually work. I mean, but they sit on like right outside the ear.
Yeah. And I like that idea because, going back to my original statement of, I don't like noise cancellation. My son loves noise cancellation. I do not. So I get both sides of it. So I think your little patch or whatever, it's almost like a little nicotine patch, behind your ear or something. That's a cool concept. It's all about not being obvious. That's where earbuds are getting us. You can have your headphones in. It's not obtrusive. You could be talking to somebody. You'll just assume they're talking to you. And if they're not, you'll know. Like, you'll be like, oh, that person must not be addressing me, even though they're looking directly at me.
Oh, they're totally ignoring me and talking to somebody else.
I could tell that person's bobbing their head back and forth. They must be listening to music. They don't care about what I'm saying at all. So,
Well, just wait till it's like videos projected in front of their face too.
oh yeah.
Walking down the street and they like slam into a pole.
Well, hopefully it's augmented, whatever that is, so that they can see what's going on.
My new visor. This visor technology is so dumb.
It's so dumb. I like those ideas. Maybe we're going too far into the future. Maybe we're not. What do you think, listeners?
We should have a way people can tell us what they think.
Yeah, you can. You could just email us at feedback@speakinghuman.com. Let us know, what do you think is the future of headphones?
Let us know what you think of our idea and share your idea.
Or ideas, plural. Maybe you've got all kinds of ideas.
Maybe that's all, every day you're like, I'm going to write down a new headphone idea. And you have like a massive journal you've just been waiting to share with a podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's all the fuzz for today, everyone. We now return you to your present day reality.
Will food still taste good?
Hey, we recorded the first episode.
That was fun.
Yeah. Feels weird doing something different and new, doesn't it?
It does.
It's like the words don't feel right in the mouth.
Welcome to Speaking Human.
The fuzz?
We'll get better at this as we go.
I hope.